Good morning. Hi, everybody. This is Dr. McClellan. I've been reading through your discussion board postings, and interestingly and surprisingly, quite a few students, quite a few of you have put up that one of the reasons that you are one of the goals of your class. I mean, I know most of y'all are taking it because it's part of your degree plan, but that one of your goals in this class is to learn more about the government and how it works. And some of you have even expressed that you hold on, coffee, that you do follow, some things online, but you're not sure how factual and truthful they are. And that's the beginning of thinking about government, how your government works. Because here's the thing. So government is the engine that runs this country. It's the politicians who drive that vehicle. So our government is definitely uh, impacted and affected by the people who are in charge. And because we've evolved as a two-party system in the United States, which I would argue right now we have three parties, because there's the MAGA Republicans and the traditional Republicans and then the Democrats. But I like to focus mostly on, and you'll hear me talk about this in video lectures, is liberals and conservatives, because that's where the difference really comes in. Um, at one point, the Republicans and Democrats are actually the same party. When we get to the political parties unit, I have a little timeline that I'll put up and show and talk to everybody. So, liberal and conservative and also means different things at different times. So at one point, after the Civil War, the Democrats were the conservatives and the Republicans were the liberals, and then it just slowly flipped, and it'll flip again. Um, yeah, that's one thing you can be sure of. But within that construct of our political parties and conservatism and liberalism, the overall structure is the Constitution. And I'm sure if you're following politics right now, you're getting a lot of information about the Constitution. And some of the problems and some of the fears of political scientists and people who follow politics is that there are parts of the Constitution that are specific. This entity, the state can do this, the state cannot do this, the federal government can do this, the federal government cannot do that. But then there are other parts of the Constitution that are totally vague, totally vague. And so the fun fact about the presidency, when James Madison envisioned the presidency, what the office of the president would be doing, what the president would be doing, because he wrote that part of the Constitution. He literally wrote that for George Washington. And George Washington couldn't live forever. So now we have, 250 years of presidents who were not George Washington or are not George Washington and do not even have the same type of personality as George Washington. So you get a lot of differences there, a lot of interpretation. And one of the things that always freaks, you know, political pundits out is when any president does something different than a president before, because you're reinterpreting the Constitution and you're setting a precedent if you're not punished for it. So it's interesting. This is one of the reasons I started studying political science to start with. Um, I've been teaching English, college English for 30 years. Yeah, at least 30 years. And I just recently started teaching government. So I like this class. I like to have fun with it. Um, you'll notice that the course relies heavily on the book. But if there's a specific topic that you would like to have more information about, I'll tell you my process. So when I started teaching this class, I had never heard of the Innocence Project. I had heard of other ones similar to it, but not the specific one. So I went and dug up some YouTube videos and just to get more information about it and watch those about, what the effect of the Innocence Project is, how it started, um, and what it's about. And so if you come across a topic that that you're interested in, try looking at some YouTube videos. The problem with that is if your algorithm, if you only watch Fox News, your algorithm is already set up to only give you those kinds of, either that is a source or those are sources that are similar to Fox News. Same thing, same thing with if you only, watch MS Now, you're only going to get, the algorithm's only going to give you those. So, and I have beef with both sides. I have beef with everybody in politics. So I have beef with George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin, for crying out loud. So, you, yeah, they don't do it the way I like it. I got beef. So, um, what you could do is use ChatGPT or another AI, and you could type in what you're interested in. So, like the Innocence Project, more information. Because one of the things that you can do is talk to, I use ChatGPT. You can talk to ChatGPT and ask it, are all of these factual sources? Are all of these real sources? Are all of these sources neutral? And when you're looking at political news, that's one of the things you want to make sure that you're doing is, getting a good idea of a good overall viewpoint of everything. So I would say, talk to your AI tool and ask it, are these neutral? And if it says no, then ask it which ones are right, which is conservatism in the United States, and which ones lean left, which is liberalism. And if that gets you confused, remember left, if you hold up your left hand, it makes an L shape. This is how I taught my kids how to tell their left from their right. Left, liberalism. And also remember too, though, if you get interested in international politics, that some countries the left is the conservative and the right is the liberal. But in the United States, liberal on the left, conservative on the right. Okay. So I think the big thing is just come in, take a look at the units as they open up. Um, you'll be getting videos with every unit. This video is late because of almost Icemageddon. I was very underwhelmed. I was also very cold, but I was also very underwhelmed. So I'm posting this to the discussion board and I'm sending it in the announcements. So if you see it twice, you don't have to watch it twice. All right. And the big thing in this class too, because, in my classes is I don't care whether you're online or you're face to face or you're in a hybrid class. As soon as you're confused, talk to me. And the easiest way to talk to me is in email. So yeah, I want to hear from my students. This is not, I am not AI, and I'm a real person, and I want to hear from you. And one of the things you'll see in the syllabus, when you read the syllabus, that if I feel like someone's grade has slipped, if someone, and I keep an eye on grades because that's what I have to look at. So anytime someone slips to below a 70, you're going to get a starfish email from me, and I'm going to want to know, hey, do you need help? What do you need help with? What's going on here? Um, and then let's see. So, in my last bit of lore or um, helpful advice is, as you're reading the textbook, pay a special attention to the words that are boldfaced, to the vocabulary words. And yeah, I that would be the big thing right there. If you know what those words mean and how to use them, that's going to be extremely helpful this semester. Okay, well, like I said, I'm Dr. Rita McClellan. I'm your instructor this semester, and welcome to my class. And I hope we have a good semester. Bye.